Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll be talking about faulty parallelism and how to avoid it. So we're going to start by discussing parallelism. So what is parallelism? Parallelism is when the items being listed in a sentence have the same grammatical structure or pattern. So our first example of parallelism says, I like eating, swimming, and sleeping. As you can see, eating, swimming, and sleeping are all verbs, and they all have the same form, and they all end in ing. The incorrect way of writing this would be, I like to eat, swim, and sleeping. As you can see, eat, swim, and sleeping don't all have the same forms. Sleeping ends in ing, while eat and swim don't end in ing. So our second example of parallelism says, tomorrow I'm going to the park, the gym, and the store. This is the correct way of writing the sentence because I'm going to the park, the gym, and the store are all written in the same grammatical form or pattern. And our incorrect example says, tomorrow I'm going to the park, the gym, and to the store. As you can see, this sentence is all over the place and it doesn't have a grammatical pattern. So for our third example of parallelism, the correct sentence would say, in English class we discussed how to journal, how to write a letter, and how to edit your writing. As you can see, how to journal, how to write a letter, and how to edit your writing are all written in the same grammatical form. The incorrect way of writing this sentence would be, in English class we discussed journaling, how to write a letter, and editing your writing. As you can see, each part of this sentence is written in a different form. Discuss journaling, how to write a letter, and editing your writing don't match. So now that you have an idea of what parallelism is, we'll be discussing faulty parallelism now. So what is faulty parallelism? Faulty parallelism happens when elements in a list don't have the same grammatical structure. Faulty parallelism can occur in multiple ways. In this video, we will be discussing faulty parallelism that occurs with coordinating conjunctions, lists, elements being compared, and correlative conjunctions. So in the next few slides, we'll be discussing faulty parallelism with coordinating conjunctions. So what is a coordinating conjunction? Coordinating conjunctions are used to join words and phrases. There are 7 coordinating conjunctions, and the acronym FAMBOYS is commonly used to help us remember them. F for, A for N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. When writing elements in a list with a coordinating conjunction, the words on each side of the conjunction must have the same grammatical form. And there will be examples on the next few slides. So our first example of faulty parallelism with coordinating conjunctions is incorrect because it says, I like going to the store and park. As you can see, to the store and park are not written in the same grammatical form. And the correct way of saying this would be, I like going to the store and to the park. As you can see, the first part of the sentence says to the store, and the second part says to the park. They're written in the same grammatical form. For our second example of faulty parallelism with coordinating conjunctions, our incorrect example says, I don't like running, but I do like to walk. As you can see, I don't like running is the first part of the sentence, and then I do like to walk is the second part of the sentence, and they don't have the same grammatical form. So the correct way of writing this sentence would be, I don't like running, but I do like walking. As you can see, running and walking are written in the same grammatical form. So for our third example of faulty parallelism with coordinating conjunctions, this is written incorrectly. It says, I would like a new car or to get a new purse. As you can see, the phrases on each side of the conjunction are not matching grammatically. So the correct way of saying this would be, I would like to get a new car or a new purse. As you can see on each side of the conjunction, the phrases are matching grammatically. Next, we'll be discussing faulty parallelism in lists. Our first incorrect example says, the basketball coach will teach you how to dribble, shoot, and to play defense. As you can see, teach you how to dribble, shoot, and to play defense are not written in the same grammatical form. So the correct way of writing this sentence would be, the basketball coach will teach you how to dribble, shoot, and play defense. teach you how to dribble, shoot, and play defense all are in the same grammatical form. For our second example of faulty parallelism in lists, the incorrect sentence says, I like jeans, hats, and wearing boots. As you can see, wearing boots is the outlier in this sentence, which means it throws the whole sentence off and it has to be rewritten. So the correct way of saying this would be, I like wearing jeans, hats, and boots. For our last example of faulty parallelism in lists, the incorrect way of writing the sentence would be, today we'll be discussing plants, flowers, and how to grow fruit. How to grow fruit is the outlier in this sentence. So the correct way of saying this would be, today we'll be discussing plants, flowers, and fruit. Next, we have faulty parallelism when comparing elements. So our incorrect example says he thought math was way easier than to draw. As you can see, we're comparing two elements and each side of the sentence doesn't match grammatically. So the correct way of saying this would be, he thought it was way easier to do math than to draw. As you can see, to do math than to draw both say to, so they match grammatically. So for our second example of faulty parallelism when comparing elements, our incorrect example says she likes reading more than she likes to write. Since the first part of the sentence mentions reading, that means the second part of the sentence must mention writing as opposed to she likes to write. So the correct way of writing this would say she likes reading more than she likes writing. So for our third example of faulty parallelism when comparing elements, our incorrect version says her basketball skills are better than how she runs track. So if the first part of the sentence says her basketball skills and we're talking about track in the second part, then maybe we should say something like her track skills or her running skills. So our correct example says her basketball skills are better than her running skills. And lastly, we have faulty parallelism with correlative conjunctions. So what are correlative conjunctions? Correlative conjunctions are conjunctions that are connected to one another, like both and in, either and or, not only and but also, and whether and or, etc. When using correlative conjunctions, the sentence must have the same grammatical form on each side of the conjunction. So for our first example of faulty parallelism with correlative conjunctions, our incorrect sentence says not only was she mad at me, but also my sister. So here the correlative conjunctions we're using are not only and but also. So what's on the same side as not only has to match what's on the same side as but also. So the correct way of saying this would be not only was she mad at me, but she was also mad at my sister. So for our second example of faulty parallelism with correlative conjunctions, our incorrect sentence says not only did she steal my bracelet, but she was also lying about it. So if she stole the bracelet, that means that she lied about it, not that she was lying about it. She lied about it in the past tense. So we have to correct that. So the correct way of saying that would be not only did she steal my bracelet, but she also lied about it. As you can see, both sides of the sentence match grammatically. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this video informative. If you did find this video informative, feel free to like, comment, or subscribe, or all of the above. And I'll see you next time.